All right, is this Mixhalo boardroom thing?
Yes, that's exactly what this is. Mixhalo boardroom meeting. The board is waiting for the other members of the board to show up.
All right, before we get into that, here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passion. Tell us where your passion for music came from. A certain album inspired it, a live performance, or is it something natural for you?
I started playing the violin when I was 3, and
Oh,
I
wow.
think it was just, the violin was this amazing game. It's this thing that I was always trying to master. It was always eluding me, and all of a sudden I could use this to connect with songs that I liked, my friends, and connect with different cultures.
Yeah.
And so I grew up playing in a bluegrass band with my
Oh.
family, and then simultaneously training classically as a violinist, and then went on to play rock music and do film scores. So
Yeah.
it was just something that connected everything that mattered to me culturally.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. I want to talk about your composing.
Yeah, for me, music, I think really was just born out of a desire to connect with other people. It's really like the fact that I'm playing a guitar on stage is really just kind of a coincidence almost.
Yeah.
It's more just like a vehicle to be interacting with other people, and writing songs is just a way to be expressive in a different way and connect with people in a way that's different than just speaking to them. So yeah, I guess it's all fun. Like,
Yeah.
communication's fun, I guess, and when it's not, it's not.
All right, so you find your passion for music. You guys both had a career in college before you went up there. Where did you go to school?
I went to University of Virginia in Charlottesville.
And you double majored, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
you know a lot about me
Yeah.
already. I double majored in music and in biology. I thought I was going to go down the pre-medicine route, and that degree sat on a shelf until kind of recently, actually. Maybe for a different interview. Mike and I also have a biotech startup.
Yeah, that's why I brought that up, because what is that all about? I couldn't find that much information about it.
Yes.
Yeah, we could talk about that for like that's like a whole other realm of discussion. But
We can top line it really quick.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically we've discovered a class of molecules that can affect skin pigmentation, and it's based on a fungal condition that lightens your skin.
Oh.
And there are different versions of this condition that lighten and darken the skin, and so there's a way to actually control pigmentation, and there are a lot of people in the world who have pigmentation disorders. And this isn't something that we like set out to do. It's something that
I'm
is
very curious how
based on a really brilliant observation made by Ann Marie. She can elaborate on that, but that's the top line.
Yeah, it was an accidental epiphany, but it involves music because I was on tour with A.R. Rahman. I was in India, and while I was there, I noticed that I had this fungal infection, which sounds gross to say on camera, but it's a commensal fungus. Commensal means it's already part of everybody's natural microbiome, so it's like a fungus that's a happy fungus. It lives with you, and it loves you, and does good things for you. But every once in a while, it gets overgrown, which can happen if you're in a new climate, like India for me.
Oh, okay.
So I noticed that I had these white patches on my back, freaked me out. I wanted to understand why I suddenly had this light spot on my back. And I was simultaneously in a culture where skin brightening products were a really big thing. Literally, billboards were screaming it, and the products in my hotel room claimed to lighten the skin. And I was thinking, that's so weird. I have this undesirable lightening on my skin, and I'm immersed in a culture where they're using dangerous things to do this. So why don't I understand how nature does it, and maybe see if there's an application that's commercial. So a few years later, we test our hypothesis, and we have 30 different analogs now that vary in efficacy, and some of them are going to be delivered to the cosmetic market for just tone correction, and others are going to be delivered to the therapeutic market for things such as skin pigmentation disorders and also for melanoma. So,
So fascinating.
yes.
Yeah, it's honestly something that we really enjoy working on, and something we never thought we'd be doing.
Yeah.
Definitely me, but I guess as musicians and as artists, we're always trying to innovate, and that's just a different way for us to innovate.
Well, speaking of innovation, while you're here, I guess here in the boardroom, you just got done from the panel. How was that? People seemed to be asking some questions into your new app, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we just finished doing a demonstration and a keynote speak about Mixhalo, which is our company that created a proprietary Wi-Fi system to deliver real-time studio quality audio into people's headphones and their smartphones
That's so cool.
in real time. So
Yeah, you said it was fired because everyone on stage, their ear models is like a secret. Now you're trying to get that secret out to the audience.
It's something that we've been doing on stage for,
Yeah.
20 plus years. And, it's a really powerful tool. And it doesn't mean that we're trying to take the concert experience as people know it away from them, but it gives them a different version. It's something, all of us artists, when our friends and families and dogs and babies and wives and other people come to see us play, we let them use a radio pack and a pair of headphones, and they always love it. They're always like, this is so crazy, this is so different. And we just thought, why, instead of using radio packs, why don't we make it so that people can just use their phone, and if we could get the audio data to their phone quickly enough that they
so
could
it's
listen.
live time, real time,
It's real time, but what we did in order to make it all work, because Wi-Fi, enterprise Wi-Fi in the current state that it exists would just never be able to allow for that. So we literally had to invent our own version of a Wi-Fi network, and so that's how it works. At an event or a live concert, your phone will find the Mixhalo network. You get onto the network and open up the app. The app is basically just a pause play button, and we can offer a pretty infinite number of different audio channels, and so it allows artists to actually curate content if they want. You can provide mixes that are different. We could give we can give a lot of choices and control to the audience if the artist wanted to do it.
No, because someone like a drummer might want to hear the drums more than someone else, or as a DJ, they might want to hear the DJ more. So that's really cool.
So we actually did that for Metallica. They wanted to do it. The band was forward thinking enough that they wanted to do it. So we gave them, their audience, the ability to toggle between mixes that feature each band member. So if you want to hear more of Lars's drumming, you could click on Lars's photo, just the same way you're flipping through like Instagram filters. And it works really well, and it's really fun.
It's genius because everyone's on their phones at concerts nowadays,
But the point of what we're doing is not to be a second screen experience. We actually want people engaged with the music. And I think a lot of people at first blush think, oh, like, I don't want people on their phone, but you're not on your phone. You're actually plugging in a way that's actually more intimate, and at least from my perspective. I'm a little biased, though. I don't know what you think.
no, I agree with you. It's not a second screen experience, but it is genius that we're using the phone because that's the gear. And they don't have to rent a wearable and worry about waiting in line to pick it up or to drop it off. It's everything that they need is in their pocket.
So I assume it's only certain venues, right, can do this right now? Or you're probably always expanding, looking for feedback from people.
Yeah, we're in a sort of semi-beta phase where we've partnered with the Staples Center. We're learning a lot there, and we're expanding into multiple venues this year. This year is going to be a really big year for Mixhalo, so we're really excited, and we're expanding into sports and conferences, and there are a lot of really great applications for this technology. It's not just a tool for music. So, and we're excited to see how people, once we start getting enough traction and usage, people will start using it in ways that we didn't think of, and that's what really excites me.
I'm very excited about your composing work, especially working with Hans Zimmer. You both worked with him, right? Yeah. What was it like working with him?
He's just the best.
Yeah.
He's so fun. He's just a brilliant genius who understands how to put everything together, and he makes everybody feel like they're important. And collaboration is just his style.
Yeah.
And we've been working with him for 10 years.
Oh,
He's
cool.
somebody that.
What pieces did you work on with him?
My first film with Hans was the Sherlock Holmes movies.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of wild to go from never composing to all of a sudden your Sherlock Holmes track is number one on the classical records. But that was my first movie with him, and then we've worked on other Christopher Nolan movies like The Dark Knight, Interstellar.
Oh, cool.
Some
I
of
got to
the
meet
other
him. He did a
movies, the
signing for The Dark
Superman.
Knight. Remember, there used to be a Virgin store at Hollywood and Highland.
There used to be a
Yes.
Virgin store back in the good old
Lots
days.
of record stores.
Yeah.
Hans is so collaborative.
Yeah.
He's the best. And we did The Lone Ranger together, all of us. He likes to just put a great crew of people together, to work on these movies. We did The Amazing Spider-Man 2 together, and that was like, us and Pharrell and Hans, and we all just collaborated on that together, and it was so much fun. And then Hans actually is, you know, in the last few years, he's become quite a touring artist and playing concerts, and he actually wouldn't do that without Ann Marie. That's a funny little known fact.
Well, thank you.
And so the first
I
time
don't know if I can own that.
I will. He'll tell you that himself, actually. But the funny thing is, so you know, we all went together and lived on a tour bus for 4 months together with Hans in Europe. It was his first tour playing his music, and for us to
You
have
giving
been
him tips and seeing toured so much?
I mean, yeah,
Actually,
a
yeah,
little bit.
we
He
were on the
definitely
same
would
tour
ask me
bus as
questions.
him,
Yeah,
and,
like-
and it was fun to like just say like, all right, this is your first tour. And
Well, if you've seen a lot of Incubus concerts, you'll
Yes.
know that there's this little wooden piano that comes out a lot, and I play during our shows. If you watch the Netflix special of Hans's concert, you'll notice he's playing a little wooden piano.
Same one.
He stole my wooden piano, and I think he still has it actually. Anyway,
well,
Yeah.
we'll let him keep it because he's an investor and an advisor to Mixhalo.
Oh, perfect.
And
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, and he's just an important person who supports us in everything we do, and we're so blessed to have that.
yeah,
Very cool.
we love him.
All right. Anything coming up in the future? New tours, new music, anything besides? You know.
I mean, if you're saying besides Mixhalo, there's always stuff coming up.
What are you allowed to talk about?
Well, I think our hobby that nobody knows about is that we like prospecting for gold.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Another passion, I see.
It is. We have a property up north, and we just go up there by the river and play in the dirt for many, many
It's really
hours.
fun.
It's
Cool.
it's very primitive.
Trying to collect enough to make a ring for her.
And we also, even though we don't have this in our plans, we are avid fans of extreme survival.
Oh yeah, the show Alone. You ever watch that
Oh, I
show?
know.
Yeah.
So good.
So
That
you
stuff
well,
is
you already have the woods
good.
area for it.
I know, right? We'll do
Yeah.
a self test, see how long we
Oh
last.
yeah, we like in our downtime sometimes talk about strategy for how we're gonna how we would survive, how we would do our
two are so
time.
amazing.
That's the point of the shows, though, right? Like
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you watch them, and then you're like, well, I could do that, and you know
Yeah.
it's like impossible, though.
The guy
Who wouldn't
who
last
like
a day? She'd last actually.
the guy who like got pinned in the cliffs and like survived for like how many days? They named the movie that A.R. Rahman did this.
127
Oh yeah,
hours.
Yes.
127 hours.
Yeah.
That was.
I couldn't
Yeah.
do that.
I remember watching that movie and coming away being like, oh, but he had a glass lens. He could have used that as a razor to cut his nerves instead of the dead knife when he was amputating
the
his
dead
arm.
knife? That's
it was
awful.
a dull knife. It was a big point in the
All
movie.
right. So things that we have coming up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Incubus is doing some more touring coming up in the summer of 2020.
Nice.
And Mixhalo is, you know, this is like I said earlier. This is
You'll
gonna-
have that at your concerts.
It's going to be
right?
yeah. We're offering. You know, we allow our fans to view the show from actually on stage, and it just people love it. It's really fun.
Nice.
It's actually really fun for us too when we're playing. It's just a good vibe to like have a lot of people on the stage. But like I said, it's a big year for us, and we're expanding and growing. The company's you know, growing every day, and new opportunities are presenting themselves. So look out for us in 2020.
All right. Thank you both so much. What an amazing interview. Good luck with the gold and surviving.
Yeah.